This guy just came on Slow Podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is Ryan.
Thank God he's sitting in the corner.
Please take that Lucia. Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What time is it?
Yes, don't worry.
Afternoon, nights. Welcome to Big Loud Mouth. We're here for episode 15.
Woo!
Thank God.
Woo!
15 weeks running.
Woo!
No break.
Woo!
No water.
Woo!
No food.
Talking.
Okay, no, we're just joking.
God. Alright.
You talk when we ask you to talk. This is Big Loud Mouth. Anyway, I'm Tola.
I'm Oz.
And this is Big Loud Mouth. Today we have two special guests. Should we do like the JMV?
Yeah.
Alright, go on. Good.
Alright, people. Welcome to the Big Lad Mouth. On our left hand side, we have Ossi, Nachi,
Nzeako.
Don't put yourself before someone finds you.
And our right, very simple, we got Ryan Thomas, mate. Straight to the point. I tell ya, none of that extra stuff.
If that was the way the JMV was doing it, we would not watch Breakfast Club. Honestly.
Wow.
But anyway, thank you for that introduction, Oz.
No worries.
Today we have a special topic for all our listeners and our viewers. It is a very important topic today. Today, and
especially in like our community.
I would like to start with Mr. Ryan. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, hello everyone that's listening.
Hey, wait, change that voice.
The bass is too much. You cannot come and take our following.
Last time I did that. No, actually increase the followers. Sorry, keep the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my voice is a bit deep there with me with this podcast. But yeah, my name is Ryan Thomas. I work as a personal trainer. In Montford, I'm working in Canadian Wolf. What else do you want to know?
So you're not a local personal trainer. You work in Canada.
Yeah, I'm working. That's where the money is.
Oh,
international.
Okay.
International.
Okay, I see.
So,
Where are you from?
So, live in Montford, but originally born in North London.
Yeah.
I am Caribbean. That's where my background's from.
Full Caribbean or remixed?
So yeah, my dad was born in Grenada, but my mum was actually born in England. Her family's from Jamaica and Montserrat. So I just claim Grenada. I don't even really claim the other two, to be honest with you.
So
It's a bit much, isn't it?
yeah, it's just long.
I hear you.
Good. So you're half abroad, half home.
Basically, yeah.
Good.
And Osinachi.
Osinachi.
Hey,
Hey, listen. Okay, tell us a bit about yourself.
Sorry. My name is Ozzy. I'm an engineer, electronic engineer. Currently working in Aylesbury, just outside of Oxford. Mainly working in Ministry of Defence. About family in Oxford, so I'm here down every weekend in London.
What's your background? Where you're from?
I'm an Igbo boy. Owerri, Imo State.
Hey, Owerri, Imo State.
The sellers of
That's where the money's at.
Get your leg off my head.
Sorry.
The sellers of all radio and torchlight.
No.
Anyway,
those are the people that sold Nigeria, by the way.
Are we going there? You know what? You said you worked for MOD.
Yeah.
Yes. Last week we actually spoke about
the MF5.
We didn't talk about that on the show. In case you go back to work,
anything.
you didn't hear anything. Anyway, the reason why we brought these two wonderful gentlemen on the show today is to discuss something we literally touched very mildly the last time we spoke about this, and it's the term bride price. Due to cultural differences, cultural practices. I like to call it practices. I don't know if is it
same, it's
same
cultural
thing.
practices.
Myself and
traditions,
Oz, traditions actually. Myself and Oz being, from Nigeria, and we kind of, because it's from Edo State, I'm from the Yoruba land. We have almost similar cultures, but having Oz, who's from East, is a bit different. And then we have this is where we have to change our voice. We have Ryan, who's from Jamaica. He said he doesn't claim Jamaica, but
nah, you got
he's representing all the Caribbean.
Grenada, Saint Lucia. Yeah, he's got a country. Dominica.
He's representing all the Caribbeans.
Hablo español?
Oh.
No.
See. Ryan is actually Right now, for the past, do you want us to say how long you've been with your other half for?
So, just over 5 years.
And she's Nigerian.
Where's she from in Nigeria?
If her family's from Ibadan.
Ibadan babes!
Wait.
Come
Hold on, wait. Because you have touched home now. I'm from Ibadan as well. Born in Lagos, but from Ibadan. So I'll teach you how to say Ibadan. Say Ibadan.
Yeah, to be honest, I do not say it properly.
Okay, say it. Not for, we don't care about the They will learn. Ibadan.
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 Oh, shame! Thank you. Thank you. Now you are 10% there. 10% there. Anyway, it's the issue. What we're talking about today is not, well, it's before marriage, but it is something you have to do, before marriage. And I have a few pointers here. So just before we start, I know what Ozzy's view on marriage is. Being someone that's been there before.
Who's been there?
You know, in Nigeria.
I've never been there.
Right now in England, is looking for a spare wife.
I've never been there.
So you have a spare sister.
I know. But if you do have a spare sister, just in case.
Or a cousin can spare.
Or a cousin you can spare.
Not us. But just in a few sentences, like, what's your take on marriage, right?
I guess my take on marriage would be, the English way. That's how I've been brought up.
Okay.
But what is the English way? What does that mean?
I guess, to me, it is essentially
pub wedding.
But the bit.
Is it pub wedding?
Sorry, man. Sorry. Composure.
No, that's a backlash.
Sorry,
that's a backlash.
Go on. Seriousness. Yeah, go on. The English way.
No, but it depends. What kind of perspective are you asking? In terms of
just in general.
But how they expect the wedding to go?
Yeah.
What's the idea?
What's the English? What's kind of like the traits or the characteristics you would see in the English wedding?
So essentially, to me, it'd be it's traditionally a one-day occasion, which I know in many other cultures is not the case.
Yeah.
It definitely obviously be in a church, a Christian church, and then you'd have like your sort of ceremony party afterwards, and then that would pretty much be it. Obviously, you exchange vows, rings. Suit and tie, so not traditional clothes. Because that's again what Caribbean people, that's the tradition that they follow. So obviously, being with a Nigerian girl, I've kind of learned over time that things aren't probably going to go that way.
Have you been to Nigeria wedding?
Yeah, I've been to many.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is more organized?
More organized.
Mind your answer.
Okay, it's hard to say in terms of organised because I guess obviously the Nigerian weddings I've been to be honest with you, I've been there more working because I used to work at a leisure centre.
Okay.
So not necessarily in terms of actually being one of the guests.
Okay.
It's been a bit different. But one thing I would say about it's just a lot more lively. It's a lot more vibrant.
Yeah. It's actually a fun day.
Yeah, they definitely go all out in terms of food and drink, like no expenses spared, which is what I like. Music.
You like it? Okay.
He's going to Ibadan. Man collect.
Ibadan people like money. Just tell you now.
He's got that. Do you know where he's working at? He's got that. Don't worry about his finances. He's got it. And as far as I'm concerned, we are planning to remove all the women. So, take all the Ibadan women. We are welcome.
What happened to the people from your state?
Please take them. Me, I want them to be gone. Take, please. I will pay you. I will pay for your wedding. Come and take, please. There are plenty.
Chiloba is asking you to take the women from the state. They fly. The women, Edo babes, they fly.
Edo babes don't fly.
They fly, and you can't trust them. Anyway, Osi, hey, what is your idea of marriage?
Marriage or
a wedding day, basically.
Wedding day. Yeah. Well, there's 2 wedding days. Of course, I was brought up as a Igbo boy in the UK. So we have now brought our traditions and our culture to the UK.
Yeah.
So we still have our, you have your white wedding, which is the English wedding, and we have our traditional wedding.
Yeah.
So both of them normally on two separate days.
Yeah.
But, okay, do you guys also do, and it's for everyone really, do you guys do introduction? That's not part of your wedding, is it?
That's not part of the wedding, but that's
It's still a process. It's still a process.
Exactly, it's still a process where you have to go with your father, your mother, maybe best man, and go to the wife's house,
the spouse,
and with drinks and so on and all sorts of
Kind.
everything.
Okay. Now, I think if we look at it on a flat base, let me ask you now, what is in one sentence, what is your idea of a wedding?
My idea? I don't have an idea of a wedding.
Well, you don't want to be taken.
I've never done it the first place. I've never done it.
Okay.
I think, culturally or just
your opinion.
What ideally I've got. There's 3 different questions in that.
Just answer. You're always getting
No, because you have to. Because there's different ways for me to answer it. Are you talking about my perception?
See what I have to do with it. We asked you the question, you answered. We asked him the question, he answered.
I don't know, because he's not saying me. I know they claim.
It's hard when you've done it in 3 different cultures. I know. Just stay to one. Stay the one you know.
I don't understand the question.
Okay, what is the wedding you know?
Oh, the wedding I know.
Yeah.
It's the one you go to church and you thank God, and then 2 people come together, dissolve themselves, and become one.
Dissolve.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy's been singing cowgirl commercials about dissolve yourself.
Yeah, two become one. So essentially what you're doing is you're dissolving yourself to become.
Well, anyway, my own idea of a wedding day is, the introduction. There's actually 3 parts. Where you get to meet the bride's family, or you always get to meet the bride's family. You talk.
So the first initial meeting. So
yeah,
after the proposal, when you decide that's going to be your thoughts, you do the tradition, right? No, you do the introduction.
Yeah.
You go Epa, you go mom's, dad, whichever.
Yeah.
Follow me to the woman's
house. You do the introduction.
Yeah. And is it always the man goes to the
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So there's no gender equality on this one.
No. Right. Your pocket has no gender.
So I just want to make sure
no.
There's no gender equality when it comes to this. Alright, cool.
So
nice.
During the week, as I know, Ozzy is always a starer. He asked a question during the week in the group chat and he said, you know what? Will you guys pay bride price if someone said it was £80,000? And before we get to that main topic, I have 2 minutes which I'm going to ask each of these questions, yeah? And I want sharp answers, yeah? Is bride price something practiced in your culture, Brian?
Not at all. That is like completely unheard of.
Today I'm going to save you. Just stop.
Just
one answer.
Just prepare to be paying bride price.
No, okay.
Just say no.
You are going to pay.
Ozzy, yo?
I don't know.
Okay. So we have 2 opposing answers there.
Of course.
What form of bride price or bridal practice is carried out in the Caribbean? Or from a Caribbean background or the English background?
It really just comes down to ideally a 50-50 split, or whichever side of the family has more money, they want to pay a great percentage towards the wedding.
So basically it's like, hello Mike, your daughter.
Mad. That is mad.
Well, no, that's the way it sounds to me.
No.
Alright, man.
John, I kind of like that, to be fair. I like that.
You're stingy, that's right. No, alright, John, your daughter, 15. You got more money in it.
No, I like the ideology of that.
Ozzy, how is it, in a very short sentence, because of time, how is it practiced? What kind of bridal practice is, for the wedding is done according to people from the eastern part of Nigeria?
Well, normally they obviously an introduction. After that, you're given like a bride price. It could be anything between finances to a list of different foods or cows or goats. So it could be a list of really anything.
So when he says list, let me break this down. You have yam.
No, but
how many tubers of yam?
I think you're also missing the point. Is that it's not just a list of this is what the bride. There's some portion that goes to a specific family that you have to cater for, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, the yam that you're buying could be all for the gate man?
Oh no, I don't want to go into details.
Alright.
I just want to say,
Nah, because you're just like, oh yeah.
According to you, what do you see in that list?
Huh? I don't see anything.
List it, come on, you know.
I don't see it.
So, Ryan, for you who don't,
you
you're not familiar
you have
with
been
this.
spared.
You have been, well, we don't know yet.
True.
What comes on that list is you have yam. They might say you should bring 7 tubers of yam. You know what tuber is? A tuber of yam. In a tuber of yam, there might be 10, 15.
Wait, yam, the food yam.
Yes,
Yeah.
just the raw form of yam. Have you seen the raw form
Yeah,
of
I've seen
yam?
the raw food, yeah.
Where you have to peel the skin.
Yeah.
Yes. You bring that. It might be like this in a heap, and then they ask you to bring rice, maybe 4 bags of rice. You bring tomato, 7 baskets. You bring alcohol, where the father of the wife will and wash mouth and
But you also
and then make a prayer for you. It's true now. It's true. Like that's what we do in the culture, and there'll be so many things that'll come, and some families, would ask you for money to read, things.
But it's all family actually for money.
Yeah,
Money is standard.
Yeah, back in the day, they keep the money, but now what you get with the recent practice is some families actually go, here you go, have your money back. The reason why they do that is you'll find out in the next part of this podcast. Anyway, going back to the third question, which is what we're going to discuss today. What do you think about bride price?
Okay, so you want me to answer that now?
Take your time.
Alright, so to me, funny enough, I actually first heard about this years ago, but at the time I actually thought it was a bit of a joke.
Nonsense. I agree with you.
And then as I got older, I come to realise, nah, this is a serious thing. But yeah, my honest opinion on it is, I don't really believe in it, and I don't really see why I should.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
I was
Now, but the woman you go carry on.
Move. I want to move my chair. Let me move my chair. So I can look through my door. You don't believe, it's not religion, you don't have to believe in it. It's not religion.
Yeah, it's, I'm a stingy guy too.
The podcast is over. This is a disgrace. It's over. Sit down. You can't say that. Oh. By the way, this is for podcast.
Yeah,
it's not stingy.
and obviously he's thinking about. He doesn't want people to be all up in his
Yeah,
DNA.
with the voice,
Yeah,
he don't want to think. He doesn't want people to think the voice comes with money. So go on, save yourself now. He's not stingy. Rewind.
No. I don't shoot you.
He can't be saying. You cannot be saying, Ryan. I give up stuff. I give up. You can't be saying. You can't be saying. You actually can't be saying. You can't be saying. You know what? Please bring me shovel. Dig it deeper. Go on, continue.
No, yeah. That's first they know that. That's just how I've always been. And so for me, I didn't give over that kind of sum of money.
He said I'm always stingy. Let me finish.
I had to process that. My friends don't always be stingy.
Let me finish.
Alright, so you don't do go Dutch?
Do what?
Go Dutch. You know when you go Dutch?
Oh. Alright, I might do that, but obviously in that sense, I know that other people are also contributing, so I wouldn't just necessarily, like, you know how when you go out and some guys will say, oh, I'm going to pay for all the rounds, and then they'll just keep doing it. That's not me.
I got that. That's not me. That's not me.
I agree with you now, man. This is why I like going out with white people. As for this black guy, you don't pay for things. You feel guilty. Alright, go on. We're listening.
No, just going back to topic,
Yeah.
To me, I can't see the reason behind paying that kind of. I mean, you spoke about it being sort of like a sacrifice to say, okay.
No sacrifice. No sacrifice. You're using it on the wrong word. It's a cultural thing.
Let me finish.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, again, I haven't been brought up in that sense, so to me, I can't justify paying, even if it's not that sum, even if it's less, a figure, in the thousands, to say, okay, this is what I'm going to hand over because I want to, marry your daughter. talking to the parents. To me, there's not a big enough reason to do that.
Okay.
And so I just feel like, why would I be paying that much money? And I know you said, okay, you might get the money back. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it's not to say I don't trust her parents or her family, but I just don't see why or what I'm handing that money over for. Because, you know, to me, marriage is an equal split, it's a 50-50 thing. Ultimately, you know, if me or her were to say, let's say we were to pass away, our possessions and whatnot would be passed over to the other. So it's almost like, why am I handing over money? And it's almost like, what am I getting in return for it?
It's not just money, you know, including the other
I
things
thought,
you
and
have to
other
buy
gifts as well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still have to spend money to get those other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's, at the end of the day, it's money.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm putting money into something and I'm not seeing a return for it. But I don't. But I don't want to like blanket marriage as some kind of like financial transaction. But that's what it almost feels like it's like. I'm almost like a transaction for. Yeah.
You said let him finish. You see why I didn't want you to.
No. I'm just saying
Speak your mind.
No, you should. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't speak his mind. I'm just consuming what you say, and the fact that I know that he has a woman
Who is Nigerian?
And
Yoruba. I'm from Ibadan. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna educate you so that you can see the necessity. You know, we go to Aussie before we go to my opinion, but I understand what you're saying. And like in some way I get that.
No, you have to understand that in some way. Obviously, number one, you didn't grow up in that culture.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have the full understanding of it. But my guy, it's been 5 years. You're supposed to be asking questions
Every day.
Renew your questions.
Every day you should be jumping in.
So, Osi, you were the one who asked, saying, you know what? If someone asked you to pay £30,000 as a bride price for their daughter, including some other gifts, what would you do? Now, the question is, what would you do? Or what do you think about bride price? Both.
To be honest, you have no choice but to pay. If that's your partner in life, you see her as your everything, your love, everything, then you have to pay. You can negotiate, because that's what happens in introduction when you're doing bride price. You can negotiate, it sounds too much, I don't have to. But at the end of the day, when the final figure is there, you have to pay. Because there's certain ceremonial things that we don't know that will affect our relationship, that we're not able to see at the time. But us doing them and following them because our forefathers have done them, will lead us to.
But is that a reason to do something? Is that a reason to do something because it's your forefathers have done it, it's tradition? Is that a good enough reason? Because Ryan has a point. Well, no matter how much you joke about it, he does have a point.
There's such things. Have you heard of the saying of standing on the shoulders of giants?
This guy is a pastor.
This
guy is a pastor.
Even Andy and Dami are like,
he is a pastor, self-proclaimed.
Is he under the giant or what?
That's why they are calling him 30,000. His congregation is not to pay that.
When you start with church, let me know so I don't come. Go on.
No, just that saying, it means a lot. Because what I understand it to mean is using the experience of your forefathers or past people that have a lot of experience in that field.
Yeah.
You're using their experience and standing on their shoulders to get above in life. Yes. So the mistakes that they've made, you're not making those same mistakes.
Yeah.
So with bride price, there's so many reasons. Because I look at it as, when I have a daughter, I will expect her partner, regardless of where he's from, to come and pay bride price. If not, there's no marriage. There's no marriage.
Ryan went wow. My dad went wow. My son is not married. Wow. My YouTube. Wow. For those who are going to listen to the sample, I think you should go on YouTube. There's so many expressions you cannot see. You cannot voice. Wow. So wait, hold on. Have you finished?
I haven't finished.
Oh God. Okay, let's go.
Sorry. And the reason behind that is because, one, I see a bride price as the father testing the son or his son to be, and the test is obviously for him to not even to accumulate wealth, but to show some ingenuity as to find the funds to give to the family, even if he's going to give it back. But it's for the son to find the means to do that, and then also. it shows how much you're willing to go for your wife. How much you're willing to sacrifice. When Ryan said sacrifice, I do think he's right. How much you're willing to sacrifice for your wife. Next,
He hasn't finished. Don't stop it.
I haven't finished.
No, I don't.
I haven't finished. When Ryan, and also when Ryan said, he doesn't see anything of value coming to him for paying that bride price, I completely disagree, because at the end of the day, you're getting a wife. Is she's earning as well. So automatically, that's two salaries become one. So if you're looking at two salaries become one.
You see, it go back.
In this day and age now, you're able to buy two salaries. Let's say one person's earning 40,000, another person's earning 35,000. Two salaries are 75,000, one household. Boom! You're able to buy a house. You're able to go on holiday every other month. You're able to do so many other things that you wouldn't do by yourself.
But in that respect, though, he's not talking about the salary part. He's talking about.
But no, he's not. He's breaking the return back.
Okay, that's what I'm breaking the return back. Not only that, you're getting you're getting wife that provides
Quality wife.
Quality wife. Obviously, you won't pay 30,000 for any Dick and Harry.
It's true. It's true.
Off the street.
Come on.
Please, this is a family podcast. He said, "I shower."
Okay.
Have you finished? Okay. Do you know what? Yeah? I like what us is coming from, because the Igbo people are notoriously known for setting high bride price. That's why it's true, because I've all the tribes in Nigeria, to marry an Igbo girl is an expense that you have to think about. It's an expense that you really have to ask yourself. Am I ready to marry an Igbo woman? Because the parents and the family will ask for a high bride price. The reason for that is exactly what Ossie just said. He broke it down. One, they're giving you somebody that's essentially going to increase your purse.
Yes.
Your household income is going to increase.
Add quality to your life.
Exactly. Two, all the food that's going to be cooked is no longer coming to the father's house. Three, the play around in the bedroom. The play around in the bedroom. You are collecting that.
That's not free.
So the father has to know that, okay, so after these years of raising this person, of spending, you know, raising a child is not cheap.
It's expensive.
It's an expensive thing.
Yeah.
So
especially raising girls.
Exactly. So the family is like, okay, I've raised my daughter to this standard. She got a degree. She got a job. She's doing good in life.
And the thing is,
so now you want to come and not only take her, forget her last name. Get rid of that family tree. A family tree is finished on that side.
Imagine if the man only has girls as well.
That's what I'm saying.
The more the girls, the higher your
That's what I'm
bride
saying.
price.
That's why I said last time on one of our podcasts that Igbo people or Igbo men having a daughter is one of the most financial liberating things that you can have.
The last time you said this, I did not agree with you.
We have an Igbo man here, and he's telling us the breaking down of those expenses.
I mean, look at that leather jacket.
Look at it, exactly.
That's coming from one of your daughters. But no, to be honest with you, this is my take on bride price, right? I think us and Ossie actually broke it down, and the reason why we have Ryan on this show is sometimes as Nigerians we're very strong with our tradition and culture. We literally don't budge. It's not even about being strong. We just don't budge. Like this is it. This is it. The reason why they're very strong on we have you on the show to explain is obviously because you're other half. Hopefully by God's grace to be. I'm sure it's what you want as well. She's from that background.
Wait. You never said that with your chest. That was the only thing you didn't say.
They say with your chest. Let them know. I'm in your corner now. See, did you hear that?
Yeah. Talk.
The reason why we're trying to apart from telling you what you should expect is we want to see from because our parents just have this wild idea of this is what Caribbeans think about our culture. But to hear from your point of view of saying, I didn't grow up with that culture, I don't understand it, it doesn't mean anything to me. It is a very fair point to have. Like, to be honest, if you didn't grow up paying, knowing people who pay bride price, why should you pay it? And it does make sense. Why should you take your hard-earned money and pay someone for having their daughter when love, as they say, conquers all? my brother sometimes love his
Or you're
daughter
standing
enough.
on the shoulders of your
Of a-
forefathers.
But when you look at it I like to look at these in the simplest form. You know, for example, I raise a daughter. Yeah, let's say I'm like 60 years old. You don't know. I raise a daughter. I give her my last name. I make sure she behaves in the best way. You know, people might say, "Oh, in the new generation, why should a woman behave in the best way because she wants her husband?" That's not what it is about. It is harder to raise daughters than it is to raise sons. Sons become rebels very early. You know, you just let them be.
Sorry, are you speaking from experience? I don't understand where you got that from. Where did you get this stats?
I'm a guy and I have a sister. So,
So you're supposed to your sister here.
So she's married. My sister's married. You know, but you know, for my sister, it was like,
Where are you
you
going
have
to
to.
get from?
I did. You know,
You didn't hear that. I just said, is that where you got your jacket from? I said, this was the bad price that you had to pay for your
no,
sister.
this should be a bride price for the sister.
Everybody's collecting money. He's collecting bride price.
Sorry, I feel
Sorry.
I can't be saying the producer of the show. Nobody's meant to hear your voice or your opinion. Anyway, because you know, the way our fathers and our mothers, you know, see the girls as like, you know, we need to raise you because one day you're going to become someone's wife. Not because of some, I don't even think they think about the gender equality behind it. They don't. They just feel like, you know what, as a father, if my wife is good to me, like, and I mean like exceptional to me, right? I expect my daughter to be the same to another man, not just because she should be in the kitchen, no. Like, especially the Yorubas, we encourage our daughters to go to school. We really do, because we know Yoruba demons are not the ones. So when you pay so much for a daughter to you know, go to school, get a degree, you know, she learns how to cook, she learns how to dress, she learns how to be, you know, homely, things like that. We're not asking you to pay for that training. Back in the day, that's what it was. Like, I invested so much in my daughter. You know, she's not going to have my last name like Oz said. It is a big thing for a father. So it's like, you're not going to have my last name. You know, substitute something at least so you know my efforts are not in vain. That's what it's about. Go on.
Yeah, no, you know what?
Yeah.
Listening to what was you saying and what you just said as well, it does kind of make a bit more sense. I'm glad we're having this conversation because really and truly, like you said, I've been with her for over 5 years and this conversation has never really taken place.
Yeah.
I should really have known this a lot earlier in the relationship. So I guess I can kind of see where you're coming from. You are kind of just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I guess it's something I'll have to kind of gradually become used to. It's not something.
No, we're not saying you should go and say yes, I'm going to pay. Because the way we look at it is like the father on the other side. If he has a son, we all expect to do the same thing. So it's not like, oh, we can only take, we can't give. When it gets to the son's part, like the family will rally around you and go, you know what? You know, let us help you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I think also just for Ryan, just to add, I also feel like when it comes to tradition, right, it's usually the woman's side, the wife that you're going to carry that states, that family is the one that states the process of whether or not they want to have a tradition, right? So you need to find out from your missus if that's something that the family is inclined to, if it's a must. You know, because there are some Nigerian weddings or some African weddings where the tradition is not necessary.
They don't really care.
For me, I'm a strong advocate for that. I don't want to have a traditional wedding. Right? No, I do not. Right? I'm a huge advocate for that. Right? But at the same time, I also have to understand that finding a woman, more specifically an African woman, right? I know that it's going to be her family's decision. So it's something that definitely has to be brought to the table. It's not something don't see it as a must. Right? Don't see that you have to be inclined to. If there is room to wiggle your way, take full advantage of that. And if there isn't, then then it's just one of your principles that you can't uphold in that sense.
I mean, let me give you an example. My sister, my parents weren't really keen on that whole bring yam, bring this, bring money. They didn't. not to say she went for.
But you wear jacket.
Or
You went to buy collect jacket. Your parents wasn't cute, but you could collect jacket.
This is, I bought this myself.
From the,
Not to say.
Where did the money come from?
from the bread price. Where did you collect the money?
Damn it, we just asked you to fix Mike today. Stay in your corner.
Oh, no. Hey, you might stop getting onto my guy. Stop getting onto my guy.
You know we'll be here together.
That's what I'm
week.
saying. Don't stop getting onto my guy.
Anyway,
You look good, man.
if
You do look good.
you look good. Anyway, back to even Ryan Ossie, I would like to, say something. You know what? The way you spoke today, I don't know if your ideology is going to change in the future, but you saying, if a man isn't prepared to bring what you ask, then he's not ready for marriage. I understand where you're coming from, because you know what? Sometimes it's just a test of character. Like they want to see like how far will you go to provide for my daughter. So the father won't ask you for your bank statement or how much. He probably doesn't even care how much you earn. Back in the day, they'll probably like, what do you do? Are you a doctor? Okay, come marry.
Yeah.
Or are you a farmer? Ooh, you have big land, marry. Now it's like we don't know. Our daughter might be lying to us and saying, "No, he's fine, he's okay, he has a job here."
Or you can be a 419.
Or you can be a Yahoo boy.
Exactly.
So why the reason why they ask you to bring those things is mostly a test of character. Like, can you actually provide? So it's not like, bring this, bring that, or all the efforts and our daughter is going to go to waste. It really is like, will our daughter be hungry? What? So for my own thing to you would be like, you can't be so adamant on like, if a man can't meet your demands about your daughter, can't get married. Or am I wrong in saying that?
Oh yeah. I didn't mean if I did come across that. I didn't mean.
Oh, you were
What I
very.
meant
No, don't backstep now.
Man, pressing rewind.
Your Igbo people are watching you now.
Don't fold your hand.
I was third in the sense that you're paying, like there will be a bride price received. The
Okay.
negotiations as to what the bride price is,
Yeah.
obviously there can be negotiated.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you come into that 6 months later, after that, well, I've tried my best. This is all I can give, and
Okay.
then it shows that he's still winning.
Yeah.
He's still tried.
I think that
If
brings
he's-
me to.
Ultimately, come and said no.
Yeah, I think that brings me to my next question. I think you should go on this one. Now, we've established bride price and why it's being done. In terms of the value of bride price, what do you guys think? Like you mentioned 30,000. For me, that's horrendous. That's too much.
I think it depends really. I think it depends because I say that, for instance, for my brother's bride price, there was a massive list.
Your brother's wife paid bride price for it.
No. the price that the price that my brother had to pay for his bride. For me, it was huge. It was huge.
Do you care to share?
No.
A round figure.
Okay. But close to 30.
You just said you weren't going to say that.
Close to 30. But that was because of his status and his family status.
How many boys?
No, I'm talking about
saying,
our
how many
family.
boys does he have now?
No, just one. Just one child. But that's what I'm saying. That's because the family of the girl kind of knew or had this perception of what our family's like and like my dad's name, my last name, and stuff like that. So that kind of added.
Oh yeah, that adds.
That adds to the bill. So like I said, it depends. So we had to go. My brother, the first one was like, yo, we ain't paying that. Definitely ain't paying that. But my brother was like to his missus, like, yo, you need to speak to your parents. Like if I pay that, then you ain't living in my house.
You stay there.
You can stay there. We recoup that money somehow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it depends. It depends on the family names. For instance, if the family is it's like what's his face? What's his Dangote's daughter, right?
Yeah.
That got married. Yeah, what's 30K to a guy like him?
No, but they still have to follow.
No, they still I'm not saying there wasn't a bride price. I'm just saying now we're talking about value, right? We're talking about the amount. So 30K for someone like him could have just been, do you know what? I'll pay that. Right? Well, for us humble for people here, 30K.
Very humble.
30K can do a lot for our future. Do you know what I mean? 30K can do a lot.
Yeah.
So for a family to impose that upon us at the stage that we're at, we're not a finished product.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're still working towards our goal. We're not at a stage. So for someone to impose 30K on us is a bit absurd, right? It's unheard of. That in itself shows that, one, they don't respect. I see that as a disrespect. if I was told, listen, at the stage I am
Yeah.
right now, for you to marry my daughter is £30,000, I'll feel extremely disrespected.
No, but you know
100%.
that's where it comes from when they ask you, what do you do?
Yes,
What's
no,
your
but
profession?
regardless.
You know, I know regardless,
Regardless,
but it's,
if it was a state where, okay, cool, like I said, I use Dangote's daughter when something that's massive, you're gonna walk into a mansion, this, that, you can gauge, right? You can gauge what figure to ask. But for someone like me, I'm only coming. The trainers that I'm wearing the same trainers I wore last year. I'm only things like that don't really speak out to me. And you're gonna ask me for 30K for your girl. I'll feel extremely disrespected by that because I feel like you're putting me in a position where either I have to sell myself to acquire that because of the woman, right? Or two, you just don't respect my family. Okay,
so you, Ryan, what do you think in terms of value?
Yeah, very much agree with what Oz was saying. In terms of a value, that's the thing. To me, again, this is a concept that I'm still kind of getting to grips with. So you're asking me to put a value on what I'd be willing to pay.
Yeah.
I don't even really think I can give a figure because again, it's still in my mind. It's like I shouldn't be paying anything at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I certainly can. You know what? It's interesting because when you were talking about obviously the fact that the daughter will be obviously losing her surname.
Yeah.
And obviously the father has invested a lot in her, and he has to give her away. It kind of remind me of like I'm sure there are like tales in the Bible that are similar things in terms of challenging people to show your status, to show your worth. And you know what? And that kind of makes sense to me because I don't go to church now as much as I did when I was younger. But
business is booming, huh?
Business
is booming.
But no, that certainly does resonate with me a bit in terms of, and that's where they kind of click. You know what? I thought, you know what? That kind of does make sense, and that kind of changed my perception in terms of okay, maybe I would be prepared to adjust my opinion and pay something. But honestly, I couldn't give a figure because 30K is just.
No, it is. So for me, this would be my advice. When you're going to see your in-laws, if you drive a Mercedes, take the bus.
Yes.
Well, see, I know Igbo people like to show that we are coming to take your daughter.
They don't be just that. No, normally, we humble people will go with our mom and dad, maybe an elder uncle, right, or the head of the family, right. But Igbo people,
they'll go with the whole family.
They will hire Land Rover. Limousine. Now they will take all the uncles in their family.
You know why they do that? So they know they are trying to tell you your daughter will not suffer.
Yeah. No.
You understand? They tell you, and most Igbo men don't like their wife working.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you share that? Do you share that?
No, he doesn't.
Why are you answering for him?
Because that's the only part this guy.
No, why are you answering for him? Do you share that view?
That your wife should not work.
It depends now. It depends on how much you're earning.
You see?
See, he believes he's.
You see? So it's fine. No. Don't shame him. Don't judge him.
I'm not shaming. I'm not judging.
Now let's hear the reason and speak with your chest.
Your bank account is fat.
If your bank account is fat, then she doesn't want to work. She doesn't need to work. She can stay at home.
Doesn't want to work. Okay.
That's not what you said
that's
earlier,
fine.
though. That's a little bit of a switch.
What did I say earlier?
This guy, you can change your mind.
No. If she doesn't want to, it depends on how much you're earning. Because if you're earning hundreds of thousands and she doesn't need to, then she doesn't need to work.
Okay, the question
and
is,
essentially,
do you want her to work?
To be honest, in today's society, I prefer her to stay at home and look after the children. It's only because what's going in our children's minds nowadays.
Hold on, this is a different discussion.
This is. Just let him finish.
I'd rather it be controlled, and I'd rather have the influence coming from the mother rather than a lot of the outside sources.
I get you. Ladies, if you're looking for a man that's going to look after you,
who buy you Gucci bag, Louis Vuitton?
30 billion for the
account. Oh, see,
Versace and Gucci for your body.
This is Davido's cousin, by the way. If you guys don't know. See, what is your art?
Don't worry.
You guys at him, OJ, right?
Anyway,
OJ Nzeako on Insta, on Twitter.
Yeah. He said no. He said don't worry. We're bringing this podcast. Honestly, I feel like we can actually go on and on and on because it's actually been an interesting discussion. To be honest with you, This has to come to an end now. We thank you guys for your time. Ryan, we thank you for, even letting us know. Like I said, I learned some things from what you said, which is, sometimes I think I might have to use that for my future in-law so I can haggle. Like, I didn't grow up with bride price. I have to. Yeah. But you know what? Like I always say, is just keep asking questions, I'm sure you want to talk to your other half about what she requires, what the family requires. And if you sat down with the in-law, just, we wish you best of luck in everything.
Would you like to leave a special message for your missus?
Special message for your missus?
Yeah, because I'm sure she'll be listening. I'll give her the link for this podcast. But obviously, I love my woman. And yeah, like if he does listen to this, that I have learnt something from this. I'm glad I came on here, and I guess you can be more confident in me taking the right approach when that time does come. Down on one knee.
By the way, that's you know what?
So sweet. Hey. You got that Brian McKnight.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I think that's very well said, but it's cheating. After 5 years, you know exactly what to say. You know exactly what to say to your woman, and you've just said it. Oh, Ryan.
and our wonderful.
What do you want to say to your wives?
What do you have to say to your wives? Because Igbo men, one wife is too small. The wealth of an Igbo man by how many women?
One woman. Only one, what
just
do you mean
on the
wife?
account.
Just one woman.
Okay, what would you? Do you have one that you want to?
Yes, I have one. She knows I love her.
No. She doesn't know. Say it. Say it. She knows I love her. Who do you think you're kidding here? Say it.
She knows I love her.
Them sideways comments from her.
I love her.
She knows I love her.
Sorry. Do what you need to do.
Do what you need to do.
When that time does come, just know I'm well prepared. And I really do look forward to it. It's a day I've been dreaming about.
Oh, sweet. Wow.
I beg, please, Dami, careful.
Yeah, do you have a word for your future son-in-law? Be prepared.
No. All right, what about you? What's your message for your Iyawo?
Ready to do whatever it takes to bring you home.
So you are telling her to be ready to do whatever it takes?
No, I'm ready to do whatever it takes to bring my other half home, You question me about this on this podcast every day. So you took today to take another shot.
You're asking everybody.
What do you want to tell your real wife?
Back in
about your new wife? What are you willing to do to make a happy home?
Ladies,
so they can both live together.
The Snapchat is Oz_. See your Snapchat.
Anyway, do you? What's your personal training details? So
PT.
Oh yeah. So
promote yourself.
Ryan Thomas PT, all one word, on Instagram, Snapchat. Also go to ryanthomaspt.com. That's my website, and also At Home Fitness Romford as well. That's for home training. Provide services at the home as well, locally in Romford. But the personal training in the gym is in Canary Wharf. So cater for both.
Darren, we'll put it all on the YouTube.
So if you can't make it to Canary Wharf, you can do it in Romford. Yeah. And Osi, anything you'd like to let people know about you?
No social media, you don't need to know me. My social medias, I don't give out to public.
Hold on, she won't break up with you.
No, guy, listen, you don't know what's going on in his home. Alright?
Homes.
No, in his home. Right? You don't know what's going on in his home. That can cause fire.
Alright. Anyway, guys, thank you very much again for your time.
Alright.
We'd like to say a big thank you to Ryan and Osi.
Osi.
Thank you very much, because we know it's a Sunday, you're meant to be relaxing. You actually made it here. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your wise words. And thank you, for loving a Nigerian woman. And you, thank you for... Where's your wife? Where's your girlfriend from, actually?
Zambia.
Yeah! We are going to Zambia! 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 We are going to Zambia!
Okay, don't be ignorant. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Love you.
This is Big Loud Mouth.